Who doesn't love Amazon right now? Rarely over 2 days shipping on just about anything you want. Well, the stock has been doing well, but it has been consolidating for the last month or so. If you hang around, I'll show it to you. Hi, this is Tim from TradingStrategyGuides.com. Today's trade pick is a trading range on Amaze-on Inc. We'll have a look at that shortly. First, we got some active trades to look at. Later on, another brand new trading maxim. I want to apologize today, you guys. Due to unforeseen circumstance, I can't wait for the market to close, and I'm having to record this video on Thursday morning. You won't see it until Friday afternoon, so if I'm a bit behind the times, please forgive me. Happy Friday! Remember to click the subscribe button and hit the bell so you don't miss any of these great trade setups. Alright, time to look at the active trades. Silver is just ballistic right now, and I'm fine with that. As I mentioned, I held the trailing stop down here, I believe, 21.48.46. Until it broke this consolidation. We've obviously got a nice decisive consolidation break right there. So I am back to following the stops with the PSAR. Currently, as of Thursday morning, my stop is 23.14.62, and that locks in $4.50 on this one. Okay, trailing stop on the Euro New Zealand currently at 176.84. Locking in 229 pips. Looks like we're getting a bit of a pullback today, Thursday. So hopefully that'll just be a breath and it will continue on tomorrow. Palladium, as I mentioned, I held the stop loss at 1992.71, which was our break-even point. I wanted to see what this consolidation was going to do. Obviously, it did not take us out, and it's finally broken to the upside. So we've got to wait for it to hit the PSAR up here and pop that sucker back down here. But I will probably move this stop loss up here to 20.61.30, which was our initial target, and lock in that amount while we wait for it to pop down here, because we've been waiting long enough to start locking in on this one. AMD is finally pushed above the 77 level here. My trailing stop currently at 76.61 to lock in 14.82 on this. This is huge profit here on this one, you guys, so kind of happy with that. Now the Euro Canadian pulled back and hit our trailing stop right here on Tuesday. So we're done with this. Total profit on this, 268 pips with an account gain of 1.7%. Nothing to write home about, except that a gain is better than a loss, right? And Euro Japanese yen is in the ARG zone here. Came within a couple of pips of our target. Did not hit it. Hopefully it'll push up this last little bit and get our first target in the next day or so. And the Euro British Pound closed back inside the bear flag right there. So we closed it at 9.047. A loss of 47 pips. An account loss of just under 1%. You win a few, you lose a few, right? And lastly, got long Chewy right here at 56.84. First target 59.52. Stop loss 52.82. Came like 15 cents from our first target. That is frustrating, but it's what the market does, right? And that's it for the active trades. Let's take a look at Amazon. What would we do without Amazon right now? I know I average 1 or 2 orders a week, and Amazon's been benefiting from this pandemic for a couple of months now. But since early July, it looks like we've kind of got stuck in a trading range here. Of course, my love of Amazon or any other stock, like Tesla, for example, has absolutely no bearing on my technical analysis. I want Amazon to succeed because I find it very convenient. But I wouldn't be much of a trader if I bought Amazon just because I liked it. Successful trading requires the hard, cold truth. It doesn't matter how amazing you think the stock may be. Just to be sure everyone understands, a trading range is a consolidation with a strong support level, like this one at 29.20, and a strong resistance level like this one up at 32.50. Price just sort of bangs back and forth between these levels until it eventually explodes out of the range in one direction or the other. I'll take a break of a trading range in either direction. And as a nice confirmation of the consolidation, we have a decline in volume and volatility right down here. As you can see, the volume and the volatility have moved down in 2 moves, but this little pop right here in both volume and volatility was followed through by a continued drop. So I'm good with both of those things. The volatility, of course, is the amount of daily movement of the price, and I measure it with the average true range, or ATR, which shows the average length of the last 14 candles. So here's the trade plan. We're going to buy a daily candle close above the range or above 32.50, or we will sell a daily candle close below the range or below 29.20. On the breaking candle, we want to see the volume bar reach up to the volume average right here to enter a full-size position. If it doesn't quite reach the average but does reach 75% of the average, I'll open a half-size position to reduce risk. You can calculate the percentage by dividing the volume number here by the volume average, and you should get 0.75. If you don't get at least 0.75, I suggest you stand aside on the trade. The stop loss will be 1.5 times the ATR. First target will be 1 times the ATR. So let's say this breaks up to here and it's about to close, say 15 minutes before the close. You put in your buy order, you look down here at the ATR, you multiply that by 1.5, measure that distance behind the entry, that will be your stop loss. Measure 1 ATR above the entry, and that will be your first target. Of course, just the opposite if the break is to the downside. If after entering the trade, get a candle that closes back inside the range, we'll take the loss right then and not wait for it to hit the stop loss. Our intention is that a breakout of the pattern should be explosive and hit our target fairly quickly. If the momentum goes away, price gets back inside the range, we want to shut the trade down without taking a full stop if possible. When the price hits our first target, we'll close half the position for profit, set the stop loss to break even on the remainder. We'll then follow stops as price moves in our direction until the market takes us out. Typically I do this using 2 positions. The first position has a stop loss and a take profit. That position will close automatically when the first target is hit. Second position will only have a stop loss, and that's the position that will be allowed to run. When the first target is hit, we'll have to manually move our stop loss up to break even on the second position. I will only risk about 2% of my account on each trade. And that's today's setup on Amaze-on Inc. Remember, my intent here is to tell you how I manage these trades. If you've already got a good trade management plan, use it. Things that work for me may not work for you. You have to understand your own mind to find the best strategies for your trading. And speaking of understanding your own mind, that's my intent for the trading maxims. The maxims help me control my emotional impulses and keep me on the straight and narrow path. A maxim is a general truth, fundamental principle, rule of conduct, or a proverbial saying. The purpose of my maxims is to motivate me to discipline in trading as well as other areas of my life. I suggest you start your own list of maxims. Things that you can say to yourself while you're trading or doing life to make sure you always do the right thing. Feel free to borrow from my list. And today, a brand new maxim of the day. Tim's Trading Maxim number 79. Nobody else can take you to the place you want to end up. You have to get there yourself. And this is a quote from Tia Claire Toomey. I promised you that I would get back to Maxim 79, didn't I? And as I mentioned, this is another CrossFit Games athlete. By the way, any of you follow the Titan Games on NBC television? You know, the show hosted by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's one of my favorites. Well, the CrossFit athletes are just cleaning up the field on that show. And I think it's partially because CrossFit training is so diverse that we are just absolutely mediocre at everything. Anyway, Tia Toomey is the amazing Australian woman that has been cleaning up at the CrossFit Games for the last several years. I love this quote. You know, this doesn't mean you've got to do it all alone. But it does mean that you've got to have the intestinal fortitude to keep pushing through. You're not going to make it on someone else's motivation or discipline. That's probably one of our biggest downfalls, depending on someone else to motivate us. I know that was my problem for many years. Motivation is great and necessary, but discipline is far more important. The discipline to do what you must, even if you don't feel motivation to do it. The discipline to get up from your chair and accomplish the things that you promised you would accomplish during your times of motivation. Cultivate discipline in your life and motivation will be far less important. And just to be clear, I'm not the picture of perfection where these things are concerned, even though I may sound like it sometimes. This is a journey, not a destination. As the old saying goes, when I'm pointing at you, I have 3 fingers pointing back at me. Remember our Amaze-on Inc. trade plan for today. We're going to buy a daily candle close above the trading range or above 32.50, or we're going to sell a daily candle close below the trading range or below 29.20. If the volume is not quite average, go half size as long as it's at least 75% of the average. Your stop loss is 1.5 times the daily ATR, and your first target is 1 times the daily ATR. And remember to click the link below to the trade management video for more details. Also remember to sign up for my free Trading Picks email list to be sure you don't miss any of these great trading picks. I send out about 2 or 3 trading picks a week from all different markets, and you'll get to see them first. Best thing is, they're free. I'll put the link below this video. Be sure to come back to Trading Strategy Guide's YouTube channel every week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time for my new videos. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you may have. I'll either answer your question right in the comments, in a training video, or both. And remember, the only stupid question is the unasked one. And don't miss the next installment of the Trading Education series next Wednesday when we'll begin to discuss the MetaTrader trading platform. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up below. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday.